All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out here, out there, just like you and just like me. So I'm going to be discussing John Bon Jovi's extracurricular activities and a very strange article slash television special, which apparently is airing or did air over on ABC. Always bullcrap, ABC. And there's a reason why I mention ABC, but I'll discuss that in a moment. Before I get going, here are the Crows and their album Ready When You Are. This is classic rock for people who like melodies and well-written songs and decent guitar work and just good music. And here they are, the Crows, Ready When You Are. Again, me promoting stuff that's a little off the beaten track. You could check that out. You might be able to find that somewhere. You can probably stream it. It's going to be a little more difficult to buy it, but I did. It took a little longer to get here than a normal CD, and it was a bit more expensive. But hey, I'm doing it because I like the music, and I want to try to keep this stuff out there so people have alternatives. Also, I want to thank all the patrons for hanging with me last month into this month. It's been rough, but the patrons are keeping this thing going. They're keeping the doors open, right? So I appreciate you guys, especially Darby and JB, who are essentially they're like my wealthy donors, okay? It's crazy. I've joked around in the past about wealthy donors. So if you're not a wealthy donor, it's okay. If you're doing $1 a month, $2 a month, if you're not doing anything other than watching the videos and being persistent about that, that can be very helpful. Okay. I need more of those folks. I have 77,000 subscribers or something like that. And, if half of you guys watched the videos daily, yeah, I think I might be in a different tax bracket if that happened, but I'll take whatever I can get at this stage. So thank you very much. Now, on to the John Bon Jovi story. There is a special on ABC, again, always bullcrap, and it's called Halfway There, which is a reference to John's song, or Bon Jovi's song, Living on a Prayer, obviously. And this is what he had to say. He said, I got away with murder. I'm not sure what he's implying, but he goes on to say, I'm a rock and roll star. I'm not a saint, So is that present tense, past, present participle? What is that? He says, I'm not saying that there weren't 100 girls in my life. I'm Bon Jovi. It was pretty good. Oh, okay. So again, I kind of messed that up because he says, I'm John Bon Jovi. It was pretty good. So that sounds a little narcissistic, right? Little self-centered, little, hey, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? But he goes on, and this kind of contradicts everything he just said. But if you think I was ever going to jeopardize anything for believing the narcissist in me was real, what a stupid thing to do. What kind of excess does a man need that's going to fuel that fire? It's just not worth it. So is he saying there wasn't 100 girls? Now, the article goes on here. It says, while he's touched on such matters before, he's never fully explained the mechanics of how he and Dorothea used to deal with them, meaning the 100 girls. Now, again, he married his high school sweetheart, Dorothea, in 1989. Now, what's funny is I saw, again, I'll tell my Bon Jovi story because it's applicable here. I saw John in 1990 at the stadium formerly known as Great Woods in Mansfield, Massachusetts. I was guest, and the prime mover and shaker who was attending that show, who had all kinds of clout courtesy of Don over at Polygram Records. And he said, hey, we'll hook you up with some Bon Jovi tickets, backstage, all that stuff. Since, you're moving on to another radio station, this is a way to thank you for adding songs that no one else played. Oh man, Polygram sent me so much music that I was like, yeah, some of this stuff is really bad. You want me to put this on my 50,000 watt or 30,000 watt blowtorch here on Cape Cod? Really? You want me to do that? Okay. So I'd have to pitch everything to the boss. I trust your judgment, Dave, except when I'm driving down the road and I hear that song and I go, what the heck is that? So anyway, I was the guest of Polygram Records, and I'm backstage. There's this pavilion area off to the side, the walkway to the stadium itself. And there's this big wall that separates. I don't know if this still exists or how it's arranged now. There's this I would say it's like a 10-foot, 12-foot wall, might be even taller than that. So there were these girls who were trying to scale this wall because they knew what was on the other side. I was talking to John and Richie, and every so often you'd hear one of these girls yelling, John or something. And then every so often you'd hear one of them fall. You'd hear a thump on the other side, and you'd hear, so, they were probably using the hand up or the, like get on my shoulders kind of thing. And they would get a little peek over, and the reaction was just insane. And I remember John and Richie kind of just laughing at it. But yeah, reading this article, the dude was surrounded by women. And it was 1990. So he had just gotten married. Now, I would say this, right? If you're an amoral rock star and you're going to get married and you're in your 20s or whatever, I don't know. I mean, do you wait until all of those wild oats are no longer something that you really want to do? I don't understand the logic. Hey, I'm just going to get married. It's 1989. I'm going to go out on tour, and there are going to be thousands of women. So he goes on to say, there is no doubt in my mind. Now he's talking about his wife, Dorothea. He says that this world revolves because of her, because of what she did to keep the kids right, what she does to keep me right, and what we do together to keep it right. No doubt about it. He added, she's certainly not afraid to call me out on something, but she's also there when I fall, and I'm there for her when she falls. No matter where I went in my career, the ups or the downs, we went there together. So I'm reading on here, and he says, these are all the wonderful cliches of rock stardom. It's about never lying, about having been a saint, and not being a fool enough to bleep up the home life either. So it sounds, this is what it sounds like. It sounds like he's saying, yeah, I'm not a saint. My wife put up with that part of me because I'm thinking there was some overlap. I don't think, because when I saw him, that was 1990. He was at the zenith, like the peak of his stardom. I think Bad Medicine was out at the time, pretty sure, or New Jersey was out. I can't remember what album was out at the time, but he was like on top of the world. He had this great catalog at that point. He had songs on rock stations, top 40 stations. Everybody was playing Bon Jovi, and the girls were everywhere. I had, again, firsthand testimony. Wasn't just, hearsay. I saw this in action. And, everybody I spoke with who was a woman was like, you met John Bon Jovi? You met him? You talked to him? Oh my gosh, I would have just killed for that. I would have died. And I'm like, well, yeah, he was I was just like, yeah, it was a pretty cool guy. And Doug Flutie was there, who was actually the quarterback for the New England Patriots at the time. And he was in the buffet. He was eating all the food. And John was, and this is a true story. John said to me, is that Doug Flutie? And I said, yep, because everyone knew who Doug Flutie was. And he said, is he ever going to come over and talk to me? And he was mad because Doug Flutie seemed to be more interested in the food. Now, Doug was a musician himself, so maybe he's like, you know what? I could do better than these guys, which isn't necessarily true at all. But I'm not sure what his motivation was, other than the fact that he was really hungry and they had great food. They had like the best food over there. And I just kind of looked at the food, and then I thought to myself, well, nobody at that moment, nobody was talking to either John or Richie. So I'm going to go over there. There were a couple of record label guys who were kind of, sort of hanging around a little bit. But I went over there and I was just, hey, this is good. I've got, access. And I was pretty stupid and pretty nervous, but I think I did well considering the fact that, that was John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. And I was a lot younger and a lot more starstruck and stupid. Now I'd just be like, dude, what's going on? It's like, it doesn't really matter as much to me anymore. I mean, it does. It would be cool. But, once you interview Eric Clapton, I'm just like, okay, what's bigger than that? Paul McCartney, maybe. And some people would say, yeah, but then Eric Clapton, he's right up there in that area. So anyway, to close this out, the question is, did he or didn't he have these girls while he was married? And the article tends to imply that he had them and his wife kind of said, yeah, he's a rock star. This is what I have to put up with. And I don't know how you have that kind of relationship. I just don't. I mean, it's more than just girls hanging out. It's girls doing stuff with your husband. And I don't know, that kind of relationship to me, it's just bizarre. I mean, I don't know how any woman would put up with that, but he says that she's basically a saint, right? Because she put up with all that stuff and she kept the family together and she kept the kids from becoming their dad. So there you go. It's all good. And ABC has this special that you can go watch. Should I promote it? I don't know. Has it already been on TV? I have no idea. All I know is that it says this week. So I'm thinking that it already happened. Maybe you can find it on YouTube, or if you're an ABC News insider, which how many of my audience love ABC News, right? It's called Halfway There, and it says it's a special this week, ABC, and it's always bull crap over there on ABC. I'm Dave, and this is my humble little channel, and this is a pretty cool band called The Crows. Ready when you are. Check them out if you have a chance to do that. And thanks again to all the patrons for last month for keeping this thing going. I need your help again this month. If you haven't supported the channel before and you'd like to, there'll be ways to do that in the description of this video. There are 3 links I typically post, and you can choose the one that you like the best. All right. So there you have it, folks. God bless everyone. Please continue to pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world, and pray for peace on college campuses in our country, as things have gotten crazy here in the United States at these Ivy League colleges, where all manner of crazy has broken out. So pray that comes to a peaceful conclusion, and I will see you soon.